Hey everybody, good morning. Today we're doing a ride on Suzuki's GSX250R. This is Suzuki's entry-level 250cc powered sport bike. You know, Suzuki's been late in the game on this motorcycle. You know, the other manufacturers have been making this motorcycle for quite some time now. Kawasaki's even got the displacement up to 400 cc's. But we're on this thing. Suzuki's doing 250cc, 248cc parallel twin liquid cooled, 8 valve. And it is a nice bike, I'm not gonna lie. Really been able to spend some serious time on this bike, log in miles, and really where this bike belongs is in the city, around town. That's where you're gonna see this motorcycle really shine. In urban areas where you don't really have to go on the freeway and your highway time's really minimal. If you're gonna be riding in those kind of conditions, this bike's gonna work really good. Here around town, it's just awesome. It's so peppy, so small, so light. You know, spec sheet says it weighs 396 pounds, but when you're riding this thing, you're gonna think it's even lighter. It's a very light and nimble bike. It just is so, handling is just effortless. It's ridiculous. You know, you'd think this bike weighed 300 pounds. And that's why I really like it. It's just such an easy motorcycle to ride. If you were someone who wanted to get their motorcycle license or wanted to get into riding sport bikes or any motorcycle in general, this would be a good platform to do it on, just because it's so small and so easy to ride, so friendly. Yeah, it doesn't have the acceleration power and the torque of other motorcycles, but you know, for learning how to ride and having a motorcycle that's not going to intimidate you or scare you, this is the bike. And for the price tag, I mean, $4,500 brand new, I mean, you can't beat it. $4,500 for this thing. Like, most mountain bikes and pedal bikes cost more than that. And for that money, you have a brand new motorcycle with a 12-month warranty that you can really, you know, learn how to ride on and have a good time. Besides being easy to ride, I really like the styling on this motorcycle. You know, even though it's not a GSX-R motorcycle category, the styling is very similar to a GSX-R. I love the lines of this bike. I love the pearl white color scheme of this thing. And you know, if you look at the paint is actually very high quality. I'm surprised that Suzuki was able to offer a motorcycle with such good paint for that kind of price. If you get the black colorway GSX250R, there's like little purple sparkles in the paint, and it really gives it a quality touch. Very nice looking motorcycle, in my opinion. I also like that the fasteners Suzuki used, they're the same fasteners as the GSX-Rs. You know, really high quality motorcycle for the money. I also really like the dashboard on this bike. Dashboard again was modeled like the GSX-S1000. All digital instrumentation, very easy to read day or night, very legible, has all the goodies, has a fuel gauge, has a gear shift position indicator, has a horizontal bar graph tachometer, digital speed, tells you when you need to change the oil, provides you fuel economy information. You know, I've had this bike for a couple months now, and I've averaged, if you can believe this, 56.2 mpgs, 56.2 miles to a gallon. And you know, with the 4-gallon gas tank, you're going to get over 200 miles range with a tank of gas. That's exceptional fuel mileage. You know, this motorcycle is really a lot of bang for your buck. You get a lot of value out of this Suzuki. You know, yeah, the top speed is pretty meager. I mean, you know, 90 miles per hour is about as fast as she goes. But like I said, you stay off the freeway, stay off the highway, you'll be okay. If you need to get on the highway for little jaunts, it's not that bad at all. You know, the 6-speed transmission in this bike, it cuts gears. It cuts through the transmission gears really well. Clutch pull is very light, very progressive. It's not too light though. Some of the motorcycle manufacturers out there, I'm not going to name any names, but they're so fixated on making clutch pull so one finger light that they make the clutch feel just too wispy. It feels like there's nothing there, like it's some Pep Boys toy bike. Not Suzuki. They've got a real quality feeling clutch in this thing. You know, it maybe takes a little bit more hand strength than it would on some of the rivals, but I don't think it's too much. I think the tension on it's really good, and it makes it feel like a quality motorcycle. You're going to be able to learn how to use the clutch on this motorcycle quite easily, just because it has that right amount of tension and right amount of feel. Very good. Final drive gearing and the transmission ratios on this bike really complement the engine. You know, this engine doesn't have a whole lot of oomph, so it's good to have a transmission that really allows the engine to be revving in the right place, and that's what this transmission does. The gearing's a little bit lower, so you're going to be shifting gears a lot on this thing, but it helps allow you to have some decent acceleration considering the limited lung capacity of this engine. Again, just very nimble motorcycle. Goes exactly where you want. The IRC tires, they work great. You know, they don't have the most feel, but they don't have the least either. And, you know, for just general street riding and a little bit of sport riding in the canyons, they get the job done. And they're really affordable. Ergonomics, I'm a six foot tall guy. Weigh probably about 180, 181 pounds. And I fit this bike reasonably well. The cockpit isn't overly cramped. I'm actually surprised by how well I fit on this thing for being such a tall guy. You know, if you're the leg room is a little bit limited, obviously, but the torso room, from my waist to my torso, there's actually quite a lot of room here. A lot of room to kind of just move around and feel comfortable on, and I like that. You know, generally these small bikes get a bad rap for not being so comfortable for us big guys, but the Suzuki, it works really good. Suspension, this bike has almost about 5 inches of suspension travel, and you know, the suspension is pretty bargain basement components. But still, it has a nice ride. You know, it's not too jumpy, it's not too bumpy, it's not too jittery. You know, when you're kind of getting after it, maybe moves a little bit, but honestly, the engine has such modest power output, but that it doesn't have enough beans to really load up the chassis, so you're never really going to notice it. Suspension works great for all intensive purposes. Brakes, again, you know, single disc, hydraulic disc up front, hydraulic disc out back, and you know, it's not the most stopping power, but you're going to be able to stop down from 60 miles per hour, no problems. It is worth mentioning though that this bike doesn't have ABS. There is no ABS. So, you know, if you're a new rider, it's nice to have ABS because you can really use the brakes to their max potential without having to worry about skids, without having to worry about lockups. It's a really nice feature, and you know, given the intended audience of this motorcycle, it would have been nice if it came stock with ABS. But if you're a little bit more experienced rider, you're really not going to miss it because the brakes offer decent feel, and they don't quite have the power to really get you in trouble. Engine vibration, you know, there's some engine vibration there. You're definitely going to feel it through the handlebar, but I wouldn't deem it excessive. I actually like the little character of this bike for being such a entry-level bargain basement bike. It's got some fun character. Suzuki doesn't want to call it a GSX-R for whatever reason, but I feel some GSX-R throaty engine sounds in there. You know, it's not the full Monty, but it's in there. You can feel it. Right now we're cruising right at 57 miles per hour, and I'm feeling good. This bike does this highway cruising no problem. You know, you downshift 2 gears and accelerate. Here we're going. Now we're going 67, 68. It has passing power. You just have to downshift a gear or 2 to experience it. And that's a quick ride on Suzuki's 2017 GSX-R 250R. Nice little bike from Suzuki. if you're in the market for a new entry-level sport bike that you just want to learn how to ride on, you're not going to keep for a long time, you just want to, you know, have some fun on, learn how to ride, get the feelings, you know, sell it to one of your friends afterwards, give it to a family member, let them learn how to ride, this GSX-R 250R is going to be a good option.